a really good series that gets really into the nitty-gritty of the 3025 era and the Fourth Succession War is the Warrior Trilogy. It goes into great detail about exactly what happened and how things like the wedding between the Steiner and Davian family occurred, and how the war began against House Liao. It also includes a really interesting side story, which is part of the main story, about the Kell Hounds and the Draconis Combine, and this famous leader or famous warrior, Yorinaga, and Morgan Kell, and their strange interactions. However, the blurb on the front of this copy of Warrior on Guard, that is Blood Brothers turned mortal enemies, blah, 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 is has completely nothing to do with the story. And although there were two brothers involved, they never even fought, and it completely misleads you as to what the whole trilogy is about. The first book starts off in 3026, before the Fourth Succession War has really started, and before the wedding between Hans Davian and Melissa Steiner. And this is sort of like the preamble, and most of the book is about, or the primary hero of the book is actually Justin Allard, who gets totally screwed over by Hans Davian for some reason, and he essentially gets ejected from the Federated Sons. Now, he happens to be half Liao, half Davian in his blood lineage, so then he kind of goes, so he just utterly rejects Davian and everything they stand for, and the first thing he does, he goes into Solaris and becomes a Solaris warrior, and he makes it his mission to kill as many Davian pilots as possible and just to become top dog, and that's like his life mission, and that's what much of the book is about. It's also about there's an attempt on Melissa Steiner's life to capture her or kill her, although it's partly accidental, and how the Kell Hounds jumped in at the last minute to save her. The Kell Hounds, by the way, are just completely tied at the hip to House Steiner. In fact, the leaders of the Kell Hounds are blood relatives of Katrina Steiner, so therefore they're pretty much the same. And a few mechs that stand out are the Victor, lots and lots of Panthers, this Monarch class dropship that carries Melissa Steiner, and the Centurion, that's Justin Allard's favorite mech to pilot. The second book focuses heavily on the actual wedding of Melissa Steiner and Hans Davian. It also has Justin Xiang, who used to be Justin Allard but has now become Justin Chang, after he has rejected his Federated Sons background and has gone full-blown Capellan. He has actually risen high up into Maximilian Liao's personal entourage and has caught the eye of Candace. Candace and Romano Liao are the two daughters of Maximilian Liao and are vying for the prize of the throne after Maximilian retires or dies or goes insane or whatever. Now, Candace is the crown princess, so she is supposedly going to take over. However, Romano is plotting and scheming all the time and is trying to get Justin killed because Justin is Candace's support figure. Lots of things happen, including the discovery of a vast array of Star League era mechs hidden on Earth, but that's kept under wraps. Morgan Kell, Justin and a few others decide they will not ever speak of it. So why does Comstar have mechs that are from Star League? That is a mystery, but it's going to remain a secret. This third book is sort of the Capellan Confederation continues to collapse in increasing desperation. Justin launches several daring counterattacks against the Federated Sons, many of which fail. Some have some level of success, and Maximilian Liao's empire continues to crumble. It gets so bad that Comstar decides to intervene and starts messing with House Davian's communications. It's called an interdiction. And this is the worst possible case scenario for House Davian. But nevertheless, House Davian actually manages to go all the way to Cyan with a strike force. And at the same time, House Liao strikes at a planet they think has the NAIS in it. That is where triple strength mimer and high tech is being developed. And there's a surprise twist at the end where Justin Chang and Candace Liao, who are sort of failing in their power struggle, and Romano is sort of taking over. They are in a desperate situation where their lives are now in jeopardy. And at the last minute, as the Davian forces are invading Cyan, it turns out that Justin has been a double agent this whole time. But he has fallen in love with Candace and vice versa. So they're now inseparable. But since Candace has already kind of lost her power struggle against Romano anyway, she just kind of goes along with him. And they get extracted by the invasion force, the Davian invaders. And the triple strength mimer is a red herring / has a weakness which sabotages the House Imara mechs, such that they're not able to fight very well. There's also the strange finale battle between Morgan Kell and Yorinaga of House Kurita. And in it, Morgan Kell defeats the warrior mentality of Yorinaga, who then surrenders and commits seppuku, because Morgan Kell gets Yorinaga to overheat and shut down without firing a shot. So basically at the end, if you look at the 3025 era or 3030 era maps, you'll see this St Ives Compact as a minor power. That is Candace Liao's personal star empire from the planets that were loyal to her when she was still the crown princess. So basically, Candace and Justin got married and started their own house. That is House Liao Allard, which is the St. Ives Compact. Although now Maximilian Liao has gone insane, and Romano, who is also very insane, even without having a reason to go insane, is now in charge of the Capellan Confederation. The only disappointment in this book series was the lack of House Merrick, although they were mentioned, but they didn't really get much plot time or story time.